This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Oh, welcome back, everybody. Yeah, we always hear this word grounded or grounding. And what's the big deal with that? Why is that so important? We're going to start with that today. I know the answer. I experienced it many times recently, even more so. And it's just like the sledgehammer hits you over the head, like, yeah, you need that. We all need that. It makes such a difference in our lives. She's somebody that practices good grounding, as well as something she calls guided healing journeys, which we're going to get into as well. And she also provides Reiki and hypnotherapy. So great to have Adrianne Smith back on the program with us. How you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well, Steve. How about yourself?
Doing well. I'm grounded. Took a couple of days
Doing
and
grounded.
took myself away from the normal routine, walked barefoot basically for 4 days. And this is the first time I really, really noticed it. I was stressed prior to that. And then after a day, I was like, oh, wow. All right. It's almost like I took something, but I didn't. Where it's like you just like
Yeah.
why does that work? Why does grounding make us feel better, make us give us clarity, chill us out? What is actually I can't even answer what goes on there. Can we talk about
So,
that?
yeah, absolutely. So I deal with this a lot in my practice. And, one of the biggest principles of Reiki is energy exchange. And so that's exactly what you are doing when you're walking around barefoot. You are grounding yourself. When you're on the earth, barefoot to earth, it is an energy exchange. So, the earth is kind of our original alchemist, right? She takes everything and turns it into something else. She'll take lava and turn it into mountains that then she turns into lush tropical jungles, right? She takes something, turns it into something else. So from us, when we walk barefoot on the ground, she takes our energy and whatever doesn't serve, she kind of transmutes it into something positive and gives it back to us. And whether or not that with if that's too woo of an explanation, everything is energy, right? And so the earth herself has a magnetic field. That magnetism draws the positive ions out of our body and replenishes them with the negative ions that then make us feel calmer. It's the same reason why when you're at the beach, and I know you were just at the beach and walking around barefoot and stuff, those negative ions produced by the ocean waves are
Hmm.
what creates that soothing energy that we feel when we're there. And so it's not woo, it's science. There is actually a actual explanation for that scientifically. Um, so that is
Wow.
legitimately what's going on when we're walking barefoot.
The ion thing, that was the bonus. Didn't even think
Mhm.
of that, but I get it. And certainly salt has that
Yeah,
property. And where I was, there was a haze of salt, like from the ocean, all over. It looked like smoke. Not even kidding.
right.
Yeah. So that was
Yeah.
definitely in the air. But you say it's an energy exchange.
Mhm.
The earth is giving us so much in terms of making us feel better through grounding. What are we exchanging? What are we giving it?
So really, I find it to be very beneficial to do this exchange consciously and with gratitude. And so what we're giving the earth, really, I mean, the earth is our original mother. And, when you look at I'm sure you're aware of this, Steve, but just for our listeners, I do very closely follow Lakota spirituality. And I walk the red road, try to walk it in a good way. and and so, in Lakota and Native American spirituality in general, our grandmother Earth, Unchi, she takes care of her children, all of her children, whether it's us, whether it's the four-leggeds, whether it's the plants, the medicine that we get from her. It's all interconnected. We are all related. We are all interconnected with the same spark of life that makes everything on this earth alive, everything in this universe, in fact. And that is, what they call the Great Spirit, Wakantanka. And so when we are doing that energy exchange, that is what we are tapping into, whether consciously or unconsciously. And it's something that simply happens. We don't have to think about it, it just happens. But if we do think about it, we can receive even more benefits from it. If we do it consciously and we do it with gratitude and say, I give this to you, and I receive what healing you want to give me. And I thank you for that. And, kind of doing that exchange with gratitude really kind of helps you to receive more of the healing and to be conscious of our connection with everything on this earth.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's pretty powerful stuff.
Right. So when, we say that buzzword grounding, that's what it really means. That's what it really comes down to. And it's just a very, nice, tidy little word to use. But when you really think about it, there's a lot of layers to it.
As I'm learning. I thought it was a little more simple that we're just connecting with the earth where bolt of lightning comes out of the sky. Where does that bolt of lightning want to go? It's finding the closest path to ground. And
Yep.
it's energy, a lot of energy. We're energy as well. So it seems that we're doing the same thing, finding a path to ground, which just feels better.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the layman's simple explanation. You got more
There
going
you
on over
go.
there.
See, very,
Yeah.
very concise, very easy to understand. That's exactly what's happening. And, like I said, everything is energy, right? So whether it's that lightning bolt or whether it's the energy within our own bodies, the electrical impulses that our, neurological system creates in order to make this body move, it's all kind of the same thing.
So we had a session a few days ago, um, and yeah, the initial intent was, oh, I'm doing Reiki with Adrianne. But there was more going on there, and share anything. I
Yeah.
got no secrets. What did we do? Your thoughts on how it went with me? Let's go
Yeah.
there.
Well, I thought you had a lovely session, Steve, and it was very soothing, relaxing. We were able to clear out, a lot of kind of stagnant energy. And I'm sure that was a lot of the things that had been stressing you out and kind of help you to feel more calm and more regulated. Um, Now, because I'm me and because I can never do anything in a simple way, whether it's, I can't even take a jar of spaghetti sauce and just use it. I have to doctor it up and put more anyway. So I kind of do the same thing with my practice. And when I do Reiki, I kind of pull in different tools. And so a lot of those tools have to do with relaxing you. And because I also do hypnotherapy, I've started to combine the two into what I call guided healing journeys. I'm sure I'm not the first person to ever think of doing that, but I don't know of anyone else who does it personally. So I just termed it guided healing journeys. And so basically what we did, and this is something that I do take to much deeper levels than what we did. I know we wanted to kind of keep it light during that particular session.
Mhm.
Um, but what we did was we sort of started with the hypnotherapy induction, where we get you doing that visualization technique. And I like to use the visualization of a meadow, a peaceful meadow, right? And we kind of get you to visualize that and really try and visualize, hear, smell, see, touch, really experience with all of your senses being in that place. And that kind of helps you to become very relaxed, very tranquil. And that's really all hypnosis is. It's simply a state of deep relaxation. So, what you experienced during that session was technically a hypnotic state. And from there, we can either do a journey to kind of access what's in your subconscious mind, or we can do what we did, which is simply go into a Reiki session and allow you in that relaxed state to be more open to that energy exchange of releasing what doesn't serve and bringing in the healing energies.
So when you and we could have gone full on hypnotherapy, tap into the subconscious. So I'm all on board of,
Mhm.
had it done before. We would keep it a little easier, a little lighter. Um, would you say that since I was in a starting point hypnotic state, and the meadow thing, talk about grounding.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Absolutely.
a great one.
Yeah. And I saw it. Like, I'm in the meadow. I could see the angle of the sun. It was like 11 o'clock in the morning in my mind. Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
did that help you tap into my energy to do Reiki? Did it make it easier?
Hmm.
Did it make me
Absolutely.
more open for you to do your thing?
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And I do notice that a lot. And that's why I really enjoy doing the guided healing journeys, is because, straight Reiki is lovely. But if someone is in a state of mind where they are very tense, very stressed, very kind of shut down, it can be difficult for them to open up and receive that Reiki. And so it's very helpful to kind of get into a state of relaxation first. And I feel like that makes it much more efficient, and they're able to receive better, to process more quickly what needs to be done. And so, I could do, say, an hour-long Reiki session with someone who's tense, and that first half an hour is just getting them relaxed enough to actually do the work that we need to do. Or we could do the hypnotic induction and get them nice and relaxed in 2 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it takes, right? And then from there, I can do the rest of the session in 20 minutes and process what needs to be processed. And I always kind of get a feel for when someone is done and kind of like, okay, that's enough. Sometimes I'll literally hear it in my head, that's enough. It's like, okay, cool, go ahead and close everything up, soothe it out, then we're good. So, but with the guided healing journeys, it does make it just a lot easier to facilitate that healing.
What's the end result? Here I am talking today about chill, relax, clarity,
Mhm.
direction. I see it all. And I don't think that was just me taking some time off. I think it was part of what you did. And even with the clarity,
Right.
let's just say I see a direction, I see a direction, I see the clarity of the direction I should be going in. Does it mean that I really want to go in that direction? No, but it is the right direction. I know it is. And therein lies, I guess the leap of faith in some areas where you got to say, don't be a jerk. You know what's going on. Now you have the spotlight shining on it because of, Reiki, a little hypnotherapy and all of it. There you go. That's the way you got to go. Much more clarity, like weird in a great way, if that makes sense.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. And and it's incredible to me how, and I've seen this happen so many times with not only myself, my own personal experiences with healing sessions like that, but also with my clients, where one session like that can be just a complete game changer. Where you do all of a sudden you have this clarity, the light bulb goes on, you're just like, oh, that's it. That's what I'm meant to do. And and a lot of times that also opens up our intuition and allows
Mhm.
us to really feel our way through that new path in a good way.
Hmm. You know, yes, because I feel that there is intuition there. And, I've been studying manifesting a little deeper and how we create. Well, I want your thoughts on this.
Mhm.
So it's been said that everything, our whole life, everything we got going on is a reflection of what's inside, good or bad, good or bad. So we created it. This
Mhm.
everything, we created it. This is it.
Yeah,
How's it
yeah,
going? You know?
it's true. It's true, and
Hmm.
I am a big believer in that as well. Whatever's going on inside you is what you're going to experience around you. And, I've had that conversation with people who have used it to really shift their perspective and change their life for the better and manifest good things. And I've had that conversation with people who were not willing to do that and who ultimately just, chose to believe that everything's horrible and everything's bad and it's everyone else's fault except for their own. And then they go off and they have, a difficult time in life. And it's like, well, I don't know. I tried, but it's like you can't make other people's choices for them. But when people do choose to shift their perspective and see the good reciprocates. It always comes back. Whatever energy we put out into the universe is what we receive back. It's that law of reciprocation. And so that's where it's kind of the foundation of manifestation, I
Mm.
believe.
As I'm learning, it's and the principles of it, you need to feel certain things that you want. You have to believe they're already here. All of that I get, but it was only until recently, just studying it more, where it's a tough one to really accept that we're whatever's going on and the exterior is the reflection of within. So they say you can create your universe, you can create your life. Interesting to think that this is what I created. you know, when you're
I
challenged.
know. Yeah. And, and sometimes I feel like that gets misconstrued sometimes because people are like, well, wait a minute, like I'm going through a really hard time right now. I've got all these awful things happening. Did I manifest this? And sometimes, yes, but also sometimes I believe that we are faced with certain challenges in life in order to learn and grow from them. All growth happens outside of our comfort zone. So even at the times when you are being challenged and things are difficult, sometimes they can be absolutely heartbreaking. Sometimes they can be maddening. Like whatever it is that's challenging us is giving us an opportunity to manifest a better outcome with our own personal attitude and perspective, right? Because you could face a challenge and be like, oh man, this really sucks. This is terrible. Life is awful, blah, blah, blah. Or you could see the challenge and be like, well, okay, this is going to be fun. Let's go. And go ahead and tackle it head on with a positive attitude and just be like, yep, I'm going to take care of this, just like I took care of the last challenge. And then the next thing you know, you've kind of, passed test, so to speak. And then that challenge is going to resolve and you're going to be in a much better place for dealing with it in that way, as opposed to, when people kind of get down and get dragged down by those challenges into those lower vibrations of, fear, anger, hatred, all of these shame and guilt and all these horrible negative emotions, right? That's what keeps us from moving forward. That's what keeps us trapped and stagnant. So when you choose consciously to face challenges in a way that invokes joy, love, gratitude, all of those higher vibrations, and say, hey, you know what? I know this is going to be not easy, but it's going to be worth it to face this challenge and get through it. And I'm going to do that with a smile on my face, with love in my heart, and go for the best possible outcome. That's when we're able to achieve new levels of personal growth that we never thought possible before.
Well, it's what you put in. So let's say you're
Mhm.
faced with a challenge and you face that challenge with negativity, nastiness, the why me, all of that. I get
Mhm.
it. No judgment. There's
Sure,
a
yeah,
lot
we've
of
all
lot
been
of
there. We're human.
there's challenges out there. But if
Yeah.
you take that road, as you said, you're going to get back what you put into it. So if you're going to put into it that kind of attitude and situation, that type of energy, that challenge is going to be a way harder, way harder.
True. It's true, and unfortunately, that seems to be the path of least resistance for a lot of people until they get to the point where they consciously choose to do things differently. And then once you establish that habit And it's really just a matter of breaking the old pattern, creating a new pattern, right? And deciding that you're going to do this. And it's the same thing with any kind of, bad habit, addiction, whatever it is. It's the same principle where you can choose to say, you know what, I'm done doing things this way. I'm going to try doing them in a better way and do it like this instead. And once you establish that pattern, it becomes easier and easier and easier to continue doing things in that way.
Mm.
So, whatever pattern you choose to establish becomes easy,
Final
whether good or
questions
bad.
about Reiki. Um, what did you detect? And we did this virtually, by the way, you know,
Mhm.
I don't know, 1,500, 2,000 miles apart. I don't know. Um, what,
That's
what,
all
what
relative.
energy doesn't know.
Energy doesn't care
It doesn't,
when
yeah,
the physical realm has no bearing on the energetic.
yeah.
That is limitless.
So
So,
what came up? Like, what were you detecting in me when you were doing Reiki and feeling energy?
so I did feel a lot, and I don't want to get into too many specifics. I do value my client confidentiality, Steve.
I'm
If
opening
you're
the
willing
door a
to
little
share,
bit
that's
for you.
fine.
So yeah.
Yeah, but I did feel some heart chakra, solar plexus kind of stuff going on with you, where there was just a lot of weight that was very stagnant and just it felt like a dark cloud, if that makes sense.
It does.
And so, yeah, just kind of a dark, icky, murky cloud over those chakras and kind of surrounding you. And it's like, okay, no, 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 we're going to get rid of that. And so, I was able to kind of help to get that removed from your energy field and then bring back in all of that healing, soothing, calming kind of energy in order to kind of re-regulate your system.
And weight, that's a good word because I feel
Mhm.
lighter,
Yeah,
just airier, if you will. Just instead of just this, I guess, a cloud, just heaviness. What like humidity. You walk in humidity with and
yeah,
like the clouds
yeah,
came
yeah.
down and they're around you, and it's just like ugh, I just want to get out of this and go inside where it's comfortable. Kind of that's probably the best way to describe it. I feel
Mhm.
great. This is what you do.
I'm so glad.
And you can do it virtually for anybody,
Yes.
anywhere. Adrienne, what's the best way to find you?
So I am online. My website is wildhearthealingco.com, and I'm on Facebook at Wild Heart Healing.
And just final thought here in that we could have done hypnotherapy
Hmm.
out, no problemo. I'm totally on
Yeah,
board for it. We didn't so much, honestly, because I forgot that you do hypnotherapy. And then the time that we allotted, we were taking it a little easier, a little lighter.
right.
Yeah,
Well, you were on
sometimes
vacation. You didn't
eh,
want to go delve into some like deep, repressed memories or something. We don't need to go there that time.
stuff can come up. Nothing bad because
Stuff
it's
can come
all
up.
with the
Yeah,
goal of feeling better and healing and all of that. Um,
right.
so cool. Thank you, and thank you for
Yeah. Thank you, Steve.
the grounding explanation. Got a better grasp on it.
Better handle on that.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Yay.
Um, wildhearthealing.co.com. Do I have that right?
Wildhearthealingco.com. Yep.
I
Like
thought I said
Colorado.
I thought I said that. I'm my bad.
You had an extra dot in there. That's okay.
Dot co. Okay,
The URL is getting nitpicky about that stuff.
100%. And dot co is actually a domain. So
Right.
really
Right,
good.
right. Yep.
Yeah. Wildhearthealingco.com. Thank you so
Yep.
much for today and for everything.
Thank
And
you, Steve.
we'll catch up soon. Okay.
All right. See you
Thanks.
soon.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.